African people or Negro states, they were also religious heads. The rulers of, in most of the cases, the rulers of Negro states or African people are also the religious head. The status, powers and function vary from tribe to tribe, culture to culture. So they are religious heads and also the rulers. Their status, power and function vary from people to people and from culture to culture. In the organized religions, we have something like hierarchy. There is hierarchy in the organized religions. The only institution that we find something comparable to the hierarchy in major other world religions is patriarchy. So there is the system of patriarchy in the African culture, which can be in some way compared to the hierarchy that is found in other world religions. And usually the oldest man in the tribe who has the authority in religious matters and in the division of the land. So it is the oldest man who are having the authority in matters of religion and also in the division of the land. And his authority is backed up by secret societies. Again, we will look at secret societies later. We will understand what is a secret society. So there are secret societies who back the authority of the elder or the oldest man in the society. Though there are magical practices and religious practices, the Africans themselves recognizes that distinction between magical and religious practices. So what is the difference? Very often the difference is religion. Religion is necessary, or religious practices or rituals are there during the times of birth, puberty, marriage, death and such things. Means all such situations, we also prescribe some kind of rituals in the modern religions. In any modern religion, when somebody is born, during the age of puberty, during the time of marriage, at the time of death, there are different rituals associated with it. Certain rituals are prescribed. There are certain rituals also among the African people. But magic, that takes the lead during the times of sickness, droughts, accidents, or some kind of battle risks. When they are going to battle, when they are going to fight somebody, there is a risk. So magic takes the lead during the times of sickness, droughts, accidents, battle risk. So the difference is religion intervenes when things are foreseen. Birth, puberty, marriage, death. These are all things that cannot be avoided. It will naturally happen. But magic takes the role when things are very uncertain. Sickness, it is very unexpected or accidental. Drought, accidents, battle risk. So that is the way they distinguish religion and magic. Magic essentially differs from what we hold to be religion in its lack of hierarchical priesthood. There is no hierarchical priesthood in whatever is concerning with magic, and they do not have scriptures. As the modern religions have scriptures, the magic as a religion, it doesn't have scriptures. Neither it has priesthood, or it never has authoritarian heads. Like in Christianity we have Pope, in Buddhism there is Lama. So there are people who are acting as the head of certain religions. That is not found in magic. Or there are no founders. Very often in other religions, modern religions, Moses is the founder of Judaism, Jesus is the founder of Christianity, Muhammad is the founder of Islam, Buddha is the founder of Buddhism. We find founders for all these religions. But with regard to magic, you don't find a founder like that. And there is no, another difference is, for performing magic you don't require a large edifice, like large sacred space is not required. In most of the religions, church, temple, gurudwara, masjid, etc. They all require such edifices in order to offer worship or perform their rituals. But in magic, that is not required. And also, there is no principal center of worship. There is no pilgrimages when we consider magic. In other religions, we have Jerusalem, Mecca, Kashi. There are different, or Amritsar. These are different places where we go on pilgrimage, or Rome, So such practices of pilgrimage or principal center of worship can also not be found in magic. But when I say there are no sacred edifices or there are no principal centers of worship, when you look at the African people, you may find certain huts set aside in order to preserve or as a storage of religious masks and other sculptures. But they cannot be compared to the edifices raised for worship in other religions. Or they do not have that kind of sanctity attached to other religious sacred spaces. They are used as storages of these sacred objects. And Africans are not concerned about any universal God. The indigenous people of Africa, they are not concerned with any universal God, but they are more concerned with the spirits of the dead and animistic beliefs. It is not about a universal God. Their thinking is more concerned or revolving around, especially about the soul of the dead, around the soul of the dead. And the soul of the dead are represented through medium of sculptures. So when they make a sculpture, the sculpture is meant to become a dwelling for the soul of somebody who is dead, some ancestors. That is the way they consider the dead. The believer trusts in prayer to a forgiving and crying, protecting higher being. Magic can directly control the forces of nature and make spirits work for his advantage. And there are abstract ethical principles stressed in religions. We don't find any of such ethical principles in magic. Only results count. The magical rites have clearly defined practical aims. The sculpture that does not give that result will be destroyed. And there is an evangelistic or missionary nature for other religions. It is open for everyone to join. But rites in magic, it is restricted only to the initiated. And the major religions have scriptures, but the magic of the Africans, it is based on mythology, somewhat analogous to the scriptures of other cultures, and unquestioning adherence to the precedents established by the mythology is obligatory, as in religious groups everywhere. So that is the basic difference between magic and religion.